This video is on absolute value expressions. An absolute value expression is an algebraic expression that lies between absolute value bars. Recall that the absolute value of a number is its distance from 0 on a number line. Since distance is always positive, taking the absolute value of a number basically makes it positive. Here's an example. So we have a number line, and we have that the absolute value of -4 is equal to 4, and that's because the distance from -4 to 0 is 4 units. Then we also have that the absolute value of a +4 is also 4 because the distance from +4 to 0 on the number line is 0 units. So when we are evaluating an absolute value expression, we're going to treat the absolute value bars as though they were grouping symbols. That is, we're going to use the order of operations to evaluate the expression between the bars and then take the absolute value of that number. Here are a couple examples. I'd like you to stop the video right now and try these two examples, completing them in your math journal. Okay, let's take a look at number 1. We need to evaluate 23 minus the absolute value of the quantity 3 minus 4x if x is equal to 2. So my first step is to plug 2 in for x. So I have 23 minus the absolute value of -4 times 2. And now I'm going to use order of operations within the absolute value bars. So I'm just going to bring down the 23 minus, and then between the bars I'll do 3 minus 8. And now continue to evaluate within the bars. 23 minus the absolute value of -5. And now that I have just one number between the absolute value bars, I take the absolute value of that, and the absolute value of -5 is +5, so that gives me 23 minus 5, which is 18. Let's take a look at this next example. It says evaluate 4a minus the absolute value of the quantity 3b minus 2c if a is equal to -2, b is equal to -3, and c equals 2. So again, my first step is going to be to plug in those values. So 4 times -2 minus the absolute value of 3 times -3 minus 2 times 2. And here's a hint: when you're drawing your absolute value bars, make them bigger than you would make the number 1. That way you're positive that they're absolute value bars. Now we're going to PEMDAS this, or use the order of operations on this. So 4 times -2 is -8 minus, and now let's do order of operations within the bars. 3 times -3 is -9. -2 times 2 is -4. Now let's combine like terms within the bars. Just bring down the -8 minus the absolute value of -13. Now since I have one number between the bars, I'm going to take the absolute value of -13, which is 13. So I have 8 minus 13, or my answer is, my final solution is -21. So in this video we took a look at, recalled what absolute value means and how to evaluate an absolute value expression.